It's 10 o'clock, and you are watching KCCI, Channel 8, Des Moines. This is News Channel 8.
Another wave of missiles exploding over Iraq tonight, day 2 of Operation Desert Fox. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kevin Cooney.
And I'm Todd Magelin for Jeanette Trumpeter. The latest round of U.S. missiles slammed into and around Baghdad about 2.5 hours ago. Now, this is videotape from cameras in downtown Baghdad.
The bomb started falling about 4 o'clock in the morning Baghdad time. It is the second air attack today. Iraq says at least 25 people have been killed in 2 days of airstrikes and 75 people have been injured.
The Pentagon says ships are firing cruise missiles deep into Iraq and Navy aircraft are shooting laser-guided bombs along Iraq's borders. It's a precise and deadly combination. White-hot light and explosions cut through the darkness in Baghdad. The message to Saddam Hussein is clear. The United States is not finished with him yet. More than 200 missiles have been fired at some 50 Iraqi targets since Operation Desert Fox began Wednesday afternoon. The bombs hit Iraqi command structures and air defense positions. Military leaders at the Pentagon say they're satisfied with the campaign to destroy Iraq's ability to produce and deploy weapons of mass destruction.
Photo up here where you don't see anything but rubble is what formerly was this building. And where you see, in this case, this building right here, you'll notice down here there's nothing left but rubble.
Now, as the operation pushes ahead, President Clinton continues to stress his motives are not to use the airstrike to distract his impeachment.
That it's not true, that what I did was the right thing for the country. I don't think any serious person would believe that any president would do such a thing.
And Iraq is reporting at least one missile hit near the government's military-industrial corporation, which is in charge of Iraq's factories.
Polls here at home show that Americans support the air raids on Iraq. Here's what some folks in central Iowa have to say about the showdown with Saddam.
I hope it's quick and effective. I feel bad for people that have to go and risk their lives, but I think we have to.
We need to understand and realize those are human beings over there, irregardless. And there's the leaders that have to take the blame.
I trust in the government that they know what they're doing.
Well, I think they're doing the right thing. I agree with what President Clinton is doing.
And while a majority of people are in favor of military action, there are others who are speaking out against using force.
Tonight, a peace rally was held here in Des Moines. News Channel 8 Sheila Brummer continues our teammate coverage from the newsroom with more on that. Sheila?
About 50 people gathered in front of the U.S. federal building tonight for a vigil. They want the U.S. to stop bombing Iraq. Voices unite for peace in a land thousands of miles from the United States.
I could just as easily have been born in Iraq, and if I had been, I'd be facing U.S. bombs.
They are killing our beloved Muslim brothers and sisters.
Brian Terrell spent a week in Iraq. He delivered medicine to sick children this past spring. Terrell says even before the bombing started, UN sanctions ravaged the lives of innocent people.
It is all politics. It's all playing games with people's lives, and I just really felt a need to come and join together with people and speak out about that.
Brian Terrell and others like him came together, each with a small light they hope will burn a big message.
There's another side here. There's other things to be thought about. The bombing isn't so simple. There's people's lives.
Tonight's rally was organized by the Iowa Peace Network and the American Services Committee. They think the U.S. should search for a better way to solve its problem with Iraq.
Sheila Brummer, thank you.
Well, while the bombs fell over Iraq today, gas prices here at home shot up. Many gas stations in Des Moines raised their prices by as much as a dime a gallon. Iraq is the 5th largest supplier of oil to the United States. Now, their oil refineries were not bombed, so the Iowa Department of Natural Resources says today's price increase should not last too long.
As long as those crude oil shipments still come, this should be just a little blip.
And even with today's increase, gas prices remain historically low.
As the missiles flew over Baghdad tonight in Washington, a shocking admission of marital infidelity from the man who would be the next Speaker of the House. The congressional publication Roll Call published the report on the indiscretions of Representative Bob Livingston on the internet. And as that was being done, Livingston was holding a closed-door session with House Republicans admitting to the affairs. All this, of course, on the eve of debate and possibly a vote on the impeachment of the president.
It allows us to face the issue head on. If it's meritorious, it will pass, and if it's not, it will fail. We can go home and understand that we've done our constitutional responsibility.
House Speaker-designate Bob Livingston and the rest of the House leadership decided to go ahead with the debate and the votes on the 4 articles of impeachment. Over objections from Democrats, the debate will start early tomorrow morning.
We strongly object to this matter coming up tomorrow or the next day or any day in which our young men and women in the military are in harm's way, protecting the interests of the people of the United States.
Of course, the charges against the president center on his relationship with Monica Lewinsky. Tonight, Livingston himself admitted to extramarital affairs that he says nearly cost him his marriage and his family. He made his confession to fellow House Republicans, some of whom charged this latest admission was all triggered by politics.
I think the members of our conference are shocked and disgusted by these underhanded tactics that we've been seeing now for weeks and months by some people who prefer to go through gutters and trash cans rather than address the issues that are before us. Bob Livingston has the full support of our conference. He has even more support for his honor and for his candor and for his integrity in addressing this directly. He never lied under oath.
Livingston said his decision to talk about the affairs now is the result of, quote, individuals working together with the media who are investigating my personal background. Meanwhile, there is still disagreement on the rules that will govern the impeachment debate. The period set aside for that could be as much as 18 hours or as little as 1 hour. Whatever it is, for now, you can plan on watching impeachment debate coverage beginning tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock from CBS and News Channel 8.
The last undecided Iowa congressman has now made up his mind on the impeachment question. Republican Jim Nessel says he will vote for impeachment. The state's 3 other GOP House members, Jim Leach, Greg Gansky, and Tom Latham, also say they will vote for the impeachment of President Clinton, while the lone Democrat, Leonard Boswell, supports censure.
In other news tonight, police led on a bizarre chase through the streets of Des Moines, but it wasn't a speeding or out-of-control car they were trying to stop. It was an out-of-control cow. Police say the 2,000-pound animal ran up and down the streets for more than 2 miles before they could manage to corner it at a field near 24th and Dean. Farm animal causing so much confusion for drivers and drawing quite a crowd of onlookers.
There's a cow running at our car. Okay. So we put it in reverse, backed up, pulled in the driveway, cops flying past us, so we go to help him out, box it in. We had it boxed in one time. It jumped over the front of the car, and over our car, in between a phone pole, and just took off running. We followed it all the way here.
Police ended up destroying the animal. They say it was the best thing for the cow and the safety of others because it was spooked and full of adrenaline.
The search continues tonight for 3 armed robbery suspects who shot a Des Moines deli employee. After the men finished eating at Schlotsky's Deli on Ingersoll, they ordered workers to turn over all their money. The men then took the cash and fired 2 shots. One hit a woman who worked at the deli. She's in fair condition tonight.
But winter is just around the corner, and the city of Des Moines says it's ready for it. Today, Public Works Director John Belizzi was showing off his arsenal of snow and ice control equipment. A total of 102 trucks, plows, and graders all lined up and in perfect working order, we are told. Normally, Public Works would have its trucks ready in October, but the nice weather has given them more time to work on construction projects. Of course, all of that may change this weekend.
So we have more people, more equipment, and of course all the materials are on hand. Now's the time to get ready and go.
Public Works plans to use more night crews to clear the streets faster than in past years.
I think John Belizzi would actually maybe like a little snow to test out his new program. I hope we don't get it, though. John, what do you think?
Yeah, Belizzi's got this whole thing wired down to his science, and I think he likes it. Likes to see things work smoothly when we get a little snow. And it looks like we could have a little bit headed our way Sunday. Does not appear to be a real heavy snow, but we'll keep an eye on that. Right now, overnight tonight, a mixture of clouds and some breaks of clear skies. Might even squeeze out a snow flurry or 2. Lows about 31 degrees tomorrow. The last of the good days, temperatures around 45, a little bit of sunshine tomorrow, and then we'll slide downhill tomorrow night and through the weekend.
Quite a downhill slide it will be. Thanks, John.
Well, it looks like it just might be a white Christmas after all as Central Iowans gear up for the holiday season. So our events half a world away is zapping spirits here in Central Iowa. Steve Carlin has that story.
And find out why Santa and Mrs. Claus made a special trip to Des Moines a few days before his big journey. This and much more still ahead.
You're watching News Channel 8, Iowa's news leader. With Kevin Cooney, Jeanette Trumpeter, meteorologist John McLaughlin, and Heidi Soliday Sports.
It's kind of scary what's going on, I think.
National and world events are seemingly spinning out of control these days. Well, our heads are already spinning out of control from the holidays.
But as Steve Carlin shows us tonight, Central Iowans still have the holidays in their hearts while the world events are in their heads.
Happy holidays, season's greetings, joy to the world. Those are the things we're supposed to be thinking about this time of year. But instead, things like impeachment, perjury, Iraq, and cruise missiles are creeping into our collective consciousness.
This is supposed to be a very peaceful time and a happy time and to celebrate, you know, the birth of Jesus and the whole season. And I just, my heart goes out to those people.
People say it is kind of strange that life goes on in our little corner of the world this holiday season, while in Washington and halfway around the world, life is being turned upside down.
This is an opportunistic time for Clinton to bring about this bombing. I think that it is absolutely done by him at this time in order to get him through this impeachment business.
I'm just so worried about the president. I think it's a bad time to start doing things to him. Not that he wasn't guilty, but I think it's a bad time to change presidents.
Rabbi Stephen Fink says, unfortunately, war is one of the few things that unites us as a nation. And it will likely unite us again, even during what is a holy time for many Western religions.
There are times for force, there are times for peace, and this is one of the times when force is justified.
Steve Carlin, News Channel 8.
Now, most of the people Steve talked with today told him that, as always, their faith will get them through these troubled times.
Well, what do you do for Christmas? Tonight, nearly 100 Central Iowa children lined up with their wish list to tell jolly old St. Nick himself. Santa and Mrs. Claus greeted the kids at their 4-mile community center. They were on hand to help out the Des Moines Park and Recreation Department with their Christmas party. And the evening was filled with several games and activities for all the cute little elves.
Good-looking Santa there, too.
That was the real one
I think
tonight.
so.
Wow.
Yep. Now, we're going to get maybe the real thing, too, when it comes to Christmas weather.
It's going to feel a little more like wintertime with cold temperatures and a little bit of snow on the way, too. We'll check all the details next.
News Channel 8's John McLaughlin has been named the National Weather Association's Broadcaster of the Year. This News Channel 8 weather forecast is sponsored by Axiom.
Not bad outside right now. We have some clouds overhead. It is a little chilly. It's finally jacket weather again here in central Iowa, but tonight will be a warm night compared to early next week. Go and take a look at the numbers. 36 temperature right now. We have clouds overhead. Winds continue out of the south, though. That's a good thing. That'll keep temperatures up a little bit overnight and mean warm air for tomorrow. 28 the dew point, 72% humidity, and our pressure is falling right now, 29.75. Latest satellite picture up to the north. This is where the cold air is pooling across Canada, in fact, all the way up to the Gulf of Alaska. That is going to eventually be spilling in. This area out in here is actually some warm air coming up from the south and generating clouds, and also some snow showers tonight across Minnesota, accumulating snows, in fact, across that region. And for us, mainly just flurries. Here is the latest currents. We're seeing a warm front pushing up from the south, warm air overriding that, interacting with cold air and generating the snow there. And then the real cold air is back behind this frontal system to the west. It is going to be moving over our region, and as we go through the next several days, between the 18th and the 22nd, temperatures will be falling into the 16 to 20 degree range below normals for this time of the year, and eventually this mass of cold air will slide across the country and head off to the east. So it does look like the nice warm weather we've enjoyed through November and December is finally coming to an end. A little bit of disturbance across Iowa tonight that's generating just a few little radar echoes with some flurries, but nothing significant here in Iowa. Most of the precipitation right now continues up here across central Minnesota on into areas of Wisconsin and northern Illinois. Some of this up in this area is actually some accumulating snow along the north of Interstate 94 from around the Fargo down to the Minneapolis area. So if you're traveling this direction later on tonight or tomorrow, some residual snow still in the forecast. What's going to happen over the next 24 hours? This area of snow will move off to the north of us. The main factor tomorrow will be the colder air arriving. That's going to be fairly late in the day. We'll switch from southerly winds out ahead of this front to northwest winds behind it, and things will slowly cool down. These cold fronts do not instantly bring in real frigid air. It's going to take its time, and by Saturday, temperatures will steady out, and then Sunday, we should be seeing the more significant cold air pushing into the regions. We'll keep an eye on things. Right now, looks like fairly light snow coming in with this. Around the country right now, cold air really hasn't made its presence felt. Bismarck, last report out of there at 9 o'clock, still 38 degrees here in central Iowa. A mixture of 30s to low 40s after a high today of 41. Super Doppler forecast shapes up like this for tonight. Partly cloudy, low 30s, southwest winds at about 10 to 20. For tomorrow, should be a pleasant day, at least the first part of the day. 45 degrees the expected high, southwest winds 10 to 20. By late afternoon, mild weather will be coming to an end. Temperatures start falling to around 18 degrees for Friday night, and as we head into Saturday, variably cloudy skies, high temperature only around 20, so a big difference from today. And for the rest of the weekend, highs will be in the teens. Overnight temps by early next week could get down into the single digits, and that'll depend on snowfall. With new snow on the ground, could get quite chilly.
And we may indeed get some snow then, huh?
Looks like a little bit on Sunday, early Monday.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. Well, in addition to continuing coverage of the crisis at home and abroad, you'll find many other stories in tomorrow's Des Moines Register, including a story of road rage out of control here in central Iowa.
Plus, one school's fundraising campaign is yielding some surprising results, and the Today section features The Prince of Egypt. The film opens in theaters this weekend. As always, don't forget to check out John's weather tips in tomorrow's Register.
We've got credit card numbers, PIN numbers, Social Security numbers. They're all part of everyday life.
But if yours ends up in the wrong hands, it could be deadly to your finances and credit rating. We'll show you how to keep from becoming a victim of what's called identity theft. Coming up next.
Closed captioning of News Channel 8 is brought to you as a public service by KCCI and the cardiologists, surgeons, and staff at the Iowa Heart Center.
So how easy is it for someone to steal your identity? Well, you might be surprised. In our high-tech world, it's easy for your personal information to fall into the wrong hands.
That's why this week Attorney General Tom Miller said he wants the legislature to beef up penalties for anyone convicted of stealing someone's identity. He also wants consumers to be cleared of bad credit that's caused by identity theft.
So what can you do right now to protect yourself from identity theft? For starters, the Attorney General's office says to take your Social Security number off your driver's license and shred old receipts and personal papers. News Channel 8 Steve Oswald has more.
Stacy Sowers walked into the Iowa Attorney General's office, hoping that others won't have to face the same problems she has.
I was involved with identity theft. I guess I never figured on moving from one location to another that I would lose my whole identity.
One of the things you can do to prevent a similar problem is not using your Social Security number for identification.
Because I have several friends that have done this, and they said it just takes a few minutes.
Clara Mae Dean is here to have her Social Security number taken off of her driver's license.
There is a $1 charge. Your expiration date will stay the same. What we can do is issue a computer-generated number to be used as your driver's license number. So come with me, Claire, and we'll get you fixed up here. For a duplicate, we don't need to screen the vision. We do go through all the questions that we always ask during the issuing process. And we'll be ready to get a signature and take your picture next.
And smile if you like. Okay, have a seat. We'll bring it out in just a few minutes.
In just 5 minutes, and $1 later, Clara Mae has a new license.
Clara, we have your license ready for you now.
And a more secure identity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Steve Oswald, News Channel 8.
And since the first of the year, the Iowa Attorney General's office says it's been contacted by more than 300 Iowans concerned about identity theft.
Still to come tonight on News Channel 8, several Metro teams battling it out on the Mets tonight.
And the Cyclones, the Hawkeyes, and the Bulldogs are gearing up for some tough weekend games. John Myers will have a preview when we come back. What do we study or play basketball?
You do both if you're at one of 3 colleges in the area. Great little deal there. Finals week couldn't come at a worse time for Iowa, Iowa State, or Drake. It's exam week for all 3, leaving little time to prepare for some really tough tests Saturday night. All 3 getting a challenge this weekend. Drake seems to be ready for the challenge. For the first time in a long time, Drake is challenging for the Missouri Valley lead, and they get another test when Illinois State shows up Saturday. Both teams are 1-0 in the NBC. It's the Bulldogs, though, that have caught the league's attention with an upset of Creighton and a winning record.
This year, everyone's excited, and I think a lot of the new guys have brought in the excitement. I mean, with Dante and Dieter, they weren't here last year, so they don't know what it's like. And after the Creighton game, I told Aaron, I go, you have no idea what this feeling's like for us. I mean, yeah, it's a great win, and you've been around winning, but for us, this is a big deal for us.
Iowa likes the Big 12. They've beaten Iowa State and Kansas. They go for the trifecta against Mizzou. Both teams are 7-1. The Tigers have won their last 7. Iowa State gets its second top 10 opponent of the season. Saturday, they meet number 8, Arizona in Vegas. Cyclones lost to number 4, Cincinnati in the Great Alaska Shootout earlier in the season. Well, DePaul doesn't do the hokey pokey, but maybe Iowa left instructions in the visitors' locker room at Kansas. The Jayhawks home for the first time since getting upset by Iowa last week. It's a close game through the first half. The Blue Demons freshman Bobby Simmons hitting a 3 and giving DePaul the first half lead. Great D, though, from the Jayhawks. Kenny Gregory with the steal, and he's going to take it all the way. And Kansas pulls away in the second half. Right now, game near the end, 74-66. That is a final. Other highs for you, top 25 tonight. North